What is going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. Lot cooking these next couple of days, so we got something new. It seems like every 24 hours or so, it feels like something new is in the Los Angeles Lakers world. Yesterday, we spent a little time talking about Bruce Brown. There was an article out there in the Denver Post that the Lakers very interested in Bruce Brown, and today we got I don't think it's shocking news, but I definitely think an update of what has gone on with the Lakers. And I want to spend some time going through an article that Dave McMenamin put out on ESPN.com and spend a little time on just kind of some of the options that the Lakers have. And it looks like there's two names that the Lakers are going to target when it comes to that mid-level exception that they have, which is $12.3 million. And I'm going to go through both of those options and just kind of read through the article a little bit. If you guys don't mind, first things first, if you can please subscribe to the channel, I would appreciate that. Almost doing some dilated peoples right there. First things first, my peoples come first. It's a kind of an old school reference there. I don't know if everybody's going to get that. But I do want to just always make sure to promote. If you can please subscribe to the channel, I greatly appreciate it. I'll continue to put out this content. Okay, let's get into the article here. So earlier today, I don't think this is shocking news, but it is news. Lakers waive Mo Bamba and they decline Malik Beasley options. Sources tell ESPN. So Dave McMenamin, as good as it comes in the biz. Had reported this. I don't think this is, again, I'm going to say this again, that it's not crazy news that the Lakers are doing this, but these are two players that the Lakers traded for at the deadline that look like there's a good chance they're not going to be a part of the Lakers. So let's read a little bit of the story. The Lakers have a roster decisions will help the team open up nearly $12.5 million to attract a player on the market. The Lakers waived center Mo Bamba, who would have been owed $10.3 million next season. The team also decided not to pick up contract option for shooting guard Malik Beasley, sources told ESPN, for $16.5 million. First off, let me just say this. In the NBA and in any job, it all comes down to results. It comes down to how much of an asset that you are. It comes down to what have you done for me lately. Mo Bamba, unfortunately, never really got opportunities to show that he could be a player for the Lakers. I actually always saw a lot of Laker fans wondering why Mo Bamba didn't get more opportunities. He was pretty much injured all playoffs. And he was kind of back and forth from injury for the most part when he was with the Lakers, but didn't get that many opportunities. So Mo Bamba, that one, unfortunately for him, I just never really think got as much of an opportunity that he was hoping for, and I'm sure Laker fans were hoping for. Malik Beasley, $16.5 million contract option. Doesn't mean that either one of these guys can't come back to the Lakers. It just means that they're not taking them at that level. The Beasley one's a lot easier to just say, yeah, why would you pay Malik Beasley $16.5 million? The guy went from getting traded to the Lakers, being a starter, eventually moving to the bench, and then getting some rotational minutes to you're not using him at all. So it would be negligent on the part of the Lakers and Rob Pelinka in the front office to pay Malik Beasley $16.5 million this upcoming season. So I think both of those are not shockers to me, and there's a strategy and a reason of why the Lakers are doing it. So the Lakers, first off, had to make this decision by the end of today. There was a deadline for today. They obviously made that decision. But this is the real news for the Lakers, and this is the most important part. Lakers were trying to get this full $12.4 million. This was the most important thing for the Lakers in doing what they did. They wanted to use that full $12.4 million non-taxpayer mid-level exception when figuring out the rest of their team. And that $12.4 million can get you a player. I'll tell you the type of players that it can get the Lakers. Among the players LA has interest in signing with the non-tax mid-level are the Denver Nuggets forward Bruce Brown, we talked about yesterday, and the Milwaukee Bucks center Brook Lopez. Those are the two names that apparently are being rumored around the Lakers. Now, I saw something a little bit earlier on Twitter. Bruce Brown, probably pretty early in free agency, is going to go have a sit-down conversation with the Dallas Mavericks. Brook Lopez is a fantastic commodity as well. He's been a really, really nice player for the Milwaukee Bucks for a number of years. He's had a great career in the league. He's a player that is a fantastic defensive presence. And then also, on top of being a great defensive presence, he can hit a jumper. He could spread the floor. He's a player that won't clog up the paint, but he can also be a fantastic defensive player next to Anthony Davis. So I'm going to throw this out to Laker fans here. Let's just say, hypothetically, the Lakers have their pick, Bruce Brown or Brook Lopez. Laker fans, which one's the better fit for the Lakers? Is it a guy like Bruce Brown that we just saw win an NBA championship that took full advantage of his opportunities off the bench? I thought was a difference maker in some of these games. He can grab rebounds. He could play defense. He's relentless. I've used this word before. He demoralized D'Angelo Russell and kind of took him out of that series. Bruce Brown was a really, really nice role player for the Denver Nuggets. Would you prefer that type of player or a guy like Brook Lopez, like I said, that is always talked about as one of the better defenders in the NBA? He's a true 7-footer. The Lakers, when they won an NBA championship, had more size. I think it's one of the nice advantages that the Lakers do have. If you go look around the NBA right now, you got Nikola Jokic in the Western Conference. Obviously, you got the bigs in Joel Embiid and Giannis Antetokounmpo, who he's accustomed to because of the Eastern Conference. Which of those two players do you think would be a better fit? If you told me right now, just pick one of these guys and you're only talking about this upcoming season with the Los Angeles Lakers, I actually lean towards Brook Lopez. And somebody had hit me up on, I think it was Twitter yesterday. Maybe it was actually on the comments on YouTube. Somebody was, mentioning as part of the conversation, hey, I'm going to assume Brook Lopez is not available, right? Well, if I had to pick between the two players, the reason why I like Brook Lopez more, I think that's a more unique player. Somebody who is 7 foot that can play along Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis has talked about how much he'd prefer to play the 4 than the 5. I think there's some, size is making a little bit of a comeback in the NBA, as in Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. I know a couple of those guys are in the Eastern Conference, but damn, does that give the Lakers, it gives them another big guy. And I feel like they already have such great flexibility. You got players, and I'm not dismissing what Bruce Brown brings to the table, but if you got a guy like Austin Reaves, maybe Reaves is playing more of that role of what Bruce Brown was, even though I know Reaves is about to get paid. But I prefer Brook Lopez over Bruce Brown. You guys let me know what you think here. Now, another thing to read in this article that I think is important. You don't have to spend the full $12.4 million non-taxpayer on one player. You could split it up. So the rest of this says LA could also elect to split the full mid-level exception and pursue multiple free agents with that money. Point guard Dennis Schroeder, and who had a successful season with the Lakers last year, and shooting guard Eric Gordon, who was waived by the Clippers on Wednesday. So, okay, let me throw out another scenario for you. Would you rather have Bruce Brown or Brook Lopez or Dennis Schroeder and Eric Gordon on the Lakers? Dennis Schroeder obviously proved he was a fantastic role player for the Lakers last year. I thought he was one of the more underappreciated players for the Lakers last season. And Eric Gordon is he's a sharpshooter, can spread the floor, and you kind of kill two birds with one stone from that perspective. The rest of the article, honestly, just kind of talks a little bit about more about Mo Bamba and Malik Beasley, but I don't really see a purpose to spend too much time on that, so I'm not going to do that. The main news is the main news, like I mentioned. The main news is that Mo Bamba, Malik Beasley, at least the contracts that there were team options for, those are not going to be associated with the Los Angeles Lakers. And now the question comes up, if you got to pick between Bruce Brown or Brook Lopez, which one of those two players would be a better fit? Or go with that Dennis Schroeder, Eric Gordon combination where you can kind of split that money apart there. So Laker fans would love your comments on this. I think it's an interesting topic. I think the Lakers have some decisions to make, and there might also be things that are not in the Lakers' hands at all, simply because both of those players decide to stay where they are or go somewhere else. So it's not like the Lakers have full control of any of this stuff. I want to mention just a couple other quick things here. James Harden is opting in to his contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. But all that means is that $35.6 million option that he has, he's now most likely going to get traded. And there are a couple teams here. It says here, there was an article I was reading earlier today. Among the teams expected to have interest in acquiring Harden are the Clippers and the New York Knicks. I find it interesting. I saw somebody put out there on a tweet the potential Clippers starting lineup. This is NBA Central on Twitter. If they re-sign Russell Westbrook and trade for James Harden, it would be Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Ivica Zubac could be your starting lineup. Could it be that James Harden ends up on the Los Angeles Clippers? And if it does, what does that mean for the Clippers? Does that put them in a position that you think, wow, they're the team that everybody's got to go through? Or is it, no, they're just kind of putting all these players together, and it doesn't mean that everybody jives and all these guys fit the way that you would like them to fit? The other news that came out here within the last, let's say, 30 minutes or so, Harrison Barnes staying with the Sacramento Kings. He gets 3 years, $54 million extension. So the Sacramento Kings, they got a lot of decisions to make. They're trying to improve their roster as well. But Harrison Barnes is staying with the Sacramento Kings. So got some Lakers stuff in there, got some NBA stuff in there. I'm sure there's a lot more stuff that's going to go down probably at any moment. I'm sure the moment that I stop recording this video and I start loading it up, new news is going to come out. But regardless, the Lakers got some interesting conversations probably going on, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on all these topics here. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for being a part of the show. Hope you guys have a good rest of your day, and we'll get with you guys soon. Thanks, Laker fans. Thanks, NBA fans.